Project Soapway number 6, the Lotion edition, scene, the prep, take 1.
Love you. We all love you. And you don't touch my buttons. Don't touch my buttons. Go on. So the Soap and Clay Kidlets are on spring break this week. And I know what you're thinking. Wait, weren't they just on a break? Yeah, they were. Like 3-4 weeks ago. Thank you for remembering that, by the way. They were on a midwinter break. What does that mean? I don't know. The school system up here is very strange and they take a lot of breaks. So this is their official spring break, not to be confused with their midwinter break that they just had. And there will probably be 3 or 4 more breaks before the end of the year. So that's fun for me. Anyway, point is the house has just had a revolving door of friends coming over to sleep and play and stuff. So it's been wild, and most of the time they're loud. So I hope they're not too terribly loud for you, in the thing. But if they are, it is what it is. That, of course, has nothing to do with what we are talking about today. We're doing our third and final Project Soapway Lotion winner, and I will tell you more about it in just a minute. But before I do, hello, I am Mrs. Soap and Clay. Let's make stuff. That was loud. How's it going, Sudsers? Welcome back to the channel. You are at Soap and Clay, where we make all the soapy things, and you are here for week 18 of year 3, and the final winner in Project Soapway Challenge number 6. And I saved this one for last for a number of reasons, and the biggest reason is that the footage that was sent to me was long, with lots of angles. And it was really cool because I really enjoy all the different camera angles and the obvious artistry that we're going for with all of this, like for sure. But I also knew that having all these different angles, I wanted to give myself a little bit of extra time to maybe play with those different angles and insert them in the video, So that's why we saved this one for last. And by this one for last, I mean the third and final Project Soapway winner for this challenge. And his name is Anthony of eXtraSoaps. And Anthony is actually pretty cool and speaks to my heart soul in a lot of ways. First and foremost, he is a biochemist, and I find that to be very, very cool. And he has been playing with soaps and cosmetics for the past 5 years or so, and has really used his experience to help guide his soapy journey, which I love. He's been doing soap mostly as a hobby and has sold from time to time, but right now he's doing it for funsies. And he submitted for the Lotion challenge and did such a cool, interesting lotion recipe that I definitely wanted to see more. And you are going to see just how much of a science geek he is the second you see his footage, because it just screams, I am a scientist, hear me roar. And I love that. One of the other reasons I love him is that he has a Twitch channel. And obviously we do the socials and everything throughout the entire video, so go follow any and all of them. But I love Twitch. I'm on there all the time. And he's a foodie and he likes making food. But he's also done a clip of soap making on his channel as well, over on the Twitch thing, which I find super cool. Because again, me and my love of Twitch. And another reason I love him oh so very much is because he actually used a quote from Voltaire in his bio that he sent through. And that quote is, "Don't let perfect be the enemy of good." And that's the New Year's resolution that he's working on this year, which I find to be delightful, because that is definitely an important thing to keep in mind when you are doing this soapy journey. Because again, remember, this is basically where science and artistry meet to become magic. And so looking for perfection in either one of those venues, be it science or art, it's not something that you're ever going to attain. So trying to get it, it's never going to happen. It's going to make you crazy. So I really love that. And another reason why I love him oh so very much is because he gave me all of this information. You can totally tell that he's, in R&D, right? Because he has 3 pages of stuff like this. I've got the video notes. I've got all of the ingredients. I've got all of the things, It's very detailed. It's very perfect and made my life very easy, with the exception of the multiple angles of the camera, because again, it's really cool and I was very excited to see it, but I knew that I was going to want to try to use it. And I have been shooting myself in the foot this year as far as not giving myself enough time to do the videos and the things. So that's kind of rough. But anyway, we should definitely get to his footage and see if I manage to use some of it for, all of the cool purposes and all of the jazz, in the video. Okay, so our final Project Soapway number 6 winner is Anthony of eXtraSoaps. And first up, we are going to just appreciate all of the awesome that he delivered within all of this, right? Just look at his setup and his lighting, and it's so lovely. And I enjoy all of this, right? But this is another version of the angles that he sent me. So I wanted to include some of this beautiful footage because it's very artistic, The only problem with all of that is that I am not artistic, like by any stretch of the imagination. I'm not Peter Jackson over here, is what I'm saying. But I kind of felt like Peter Jackson a little bit, kind of going through all of the different angles that I could possibly have. I left this top-down shot in right here just to show you that he is so good with best practices in that he is putting his, received date on his products when they come in. And I think that is brilliant, especially right now with the new, rundown of what we can expect we're supposed to do for compliance within the cosmetics industry and the FDA, forthcoming. So there's that. Now on to this recipe. So we are doing, it's essentially a 75-25 split. So 75 liquid, 25%, your oils. And with this, he has the glycerin as well as the sodium lactate included in all of this. The glycerin, again, creating a nice humectant, putting glycerin into a lotion is a good idea. It allows your skin to go ahead and, maintain its own moisture, but the sodium lactate to that does the same thing as well. It is known as a humectant within the cosmetics industry, but also has the added benefit of adjusting the product's pH. It does assist with that. Now, he actually does do pH testing of his lotion within this video, and I do not remember if I left it in because we actually had a little bit of problems with this footage. And so you're going to get a lot of color variations because all of the coloring was kind of all over the board. I think his white balance is super duper sensitive. And unfortunately, I am not good enough of a person in general in life to be able to fix those things, easily. But I did want to show you this is going to be the last, angle that we have, and also the last usable secondary angle that I can use that is not top down. There were a lot of overexposure issues that I couldn't fix, even though he told me how to. But I did love that he had 3 different cameras going with all of this. Just such a beautiful artistic setup. This should all be something that would be used for marketing. You know what I mean? It's so good. And this is what I mean about the light. So when you have that black tray and all of that, made everything real dark. And I tried to fix it and it didn't. I'm bad at things. Look, I am not Peter Jackson. Remember? But I do feel just impossibly bad that I messed up his footage and I was not able to actually represent the vision that he had going, because it's a very good one and it is so precise and it's a reflection of who he is as a human, very thorough, and he had covered all of these bases and I messed up his footage. So hopefully I will allow myself more time if he ever wins another Project Soapway challenge, wink wink nudge nudge, and I will do him better. So sorry about that, but for all of this, the ingredients that he has set up here, I think it's a beautiful way to approach any cosmetic making or, just soap making in general. This is another example of following, best practices with your creating. Everything is very clean. It is all organized. You have absolutely everything out that you need for your recipe, and it is in one place. You use it, you put it away. He has his, again, he dated all of his information for, when he received these products. So he knows, when he has to use them by, keeping the little pipette attached to the actual container so you never have to use that pipette for anything else. I love it. But yeah, so his entire setup is just absolutely gorgeous. It's exactly what, made me so happy to see. It's a streamlined and scientific approach to making the cosmetics. On to the making. Now, I found this to be very interesting within Anthony's footage. They did say that they were using the butterfly pea powder because of blue to cancel out the natural yellow color of the lotion. Because when you're making a lotion from scratch, it's usually going to be the color of your oils and butters, right? Anthony said that, because he had grown up with all of these lotions that were always whites, he prefers a white lotion. So he's playing with color theory and all of that. And I find that to be really cool because that's what, like our hairstylists and stuff do, right? They use purple toner for this or a gold for whatever to cancel out different colors or enhance the ones that, they want to really shine. And so that was really fun. It's all science. It's really cool. And you notice that he used the tiniest of tiny amounts in this particular solution of the blue pea powder or the butterfly blue pea. I've never even heard of this. It sounds fascinating, right? I'm definitely filing that away to play with and research and use, in other things coming up for sure. But I did want to go back to his recipe and continue talking about that. And as you notice, he only has one oil and or butter in this, and that is the jojoba. I guess, again, showing, like we saw yesterday with Nasreen's video and her lotion recipe, that you can get a really nice lotion with some very simple ingredients. Not that jojoba oil is a basic ingredient, but the recipe formulation in and of itself is simple. When you are dealing with a 12% jojoba oil, plus your emulsifying wax and your cetyl alcohol, it's kind of cool. And this is a recipe that is easy in that you have less ingredients to keep track of, which again, going back to good practices and best practices, with all of the changes that are proposed with the FDA and the cosmetics industry, a simpler recipe is probably going to be everybody's best bet. Finally, with the notes section here, so it has the pH of the lotion that he tested, as well as the date, and the last time that the pH meter was calibrated, and any other additional notes for the packaging itself, and then his ingredients list completely blown out, ready to be put on the website, on the product listing, on the packaging. This is behind the scenes record keeping that I expect all of you are doing, and if not, you should be, because it is important, and I love to see that there's a Sudsr doing it. Honestly, this is why I love the product, the Inventora thing so very much. That software is so great in that it actually takes care of all of these things for you, and it keeps it in one handy place, so you don't have to go searching for all of the things whenever you need to remake something, whenever you need to get your product tested or approved. And I just love to see this, and it totally makes sense that he would be doing this because, again, Anthony is a biochemist, right? And he's been working in research and development for like 12 plus years in the cosmetics industry, and so this is sort of just what he does and just kind of how his brain is going to operate naturally. And it's so delightful to see such precision. Speaking of precision, with this little teeny tiny scale to painstakingly weigh out the exact amount of the final stage of all of this. So it will be the lavender oil, the preservative, which is Optifin Plus for this, and the vitamin E oil. And I think that is a very... It's just all lovely. I sent him a message as I was reviewing this footage and, watching everything. And I'm like, oh my God, I love you. Like, I love you. Look at this. This is it's just perfect. It's amazing. Just well done. And this is before I went and checked out, all of Anthony's socials and, kind of fangirled over a whole bunch of other stuff because he's involved in a whole lot of things. He has a lot of interests. One of them is he's a foodie and he has a Twitch channel for his foodie stuff. It's meant to be spiced. All of these links are obviously in the description and in the pinned comment, all the jazz. But he hasn't actually streamed in like 3 years. So everybody go follow him and tell him that he needs to do that streaming thing again, because I want to watch him make food. Those are some of my most favorite streams to watch on Twitch. It's delightful. He also has a food blog and he gives you recipes. You guys, we should go, make his recipes. I saw one for tiramisu, and I made tiramisu for the first time ever on Easter Sunday. It was a lemon tiramisu, and it was weird. Ladyfingers are strange, But he has that going on. And then that's in addition to, his IRL job and everything and the extra soap stuff, which again, he is doing as a hobby right now because he had sensitive skin and he wanted to see if he could make something he could formulate something that is good for him and also fun, and also kind of got into the cosmetics thing, not really wanting to originally, just because of his experience in the cosmetics industry and all of the rules and regs that are associated with that. But as we can see, he does a great job. So I think he has this cosmetics making, nailed. Now, onto the final phase of this is going to be cool down phase, which is good. He is cooling down his lotion to the appropriate temperatures for his lavender essential oil, his Optifin Plus, and his vitamin E. Anyway, so he then is proceeding to mix the bejesus out of this lotion like over and over and over again because, reasons you have to do the mixy mix thing with lotion. You get it. We've done all this before. But I sped it up a whole lot because it was a lot. Like, there was a lot going on. And he had a lot of extra mixes with all of this, as you'll see. I left some of it in for sure because he was continuing to add just a little bit of the blue pea or the blue butterfly pea powder to it to try to change the color. He's kind of just doing a fun test with all of it, which is good. I enjoy him testing while he's also, doing the making things, because if you can cancel out that yellow, all the better, right? But point is, I sped this up a whole lot because he had to do a number of different mixes to keep playing with that, the bluing, really. And I kind of felt bad for him at some point because the lotion is just getting thicker and thicker. So then he's having to get a little bit out in order to get some of the blue pea powder in, mix it in with that, and then mix the sample of the lotion back into the main lotion. It was a lot for sure. And I just sped that up, and I don't know, like his entire video, having sent 3 different camera angles, each of those, angles would have recorded like 1 hour and 15 minutes of making of a lotion. And you can totally tell that he's built for long form content. So Twitch is the place for him, baby. And I dig it. I really like long form content just generally. But 2, because he was talking throughout this entire thing, he's just like a natural teacher, and he does a very great job with the teaching. And also he is methodical in his approach. And so it's just such a structured, beautiful way of, doing a formulation and creating a cosmetic. And so I did want to leave this in and, show a sampling of this just to, I guess, appreciate him and his dedication to it and continuing to sort of adjust the color as he's going. But for anybody that, if this happens to be your very first lotion recipe video ever that you've ever watched ever, all of the extra steps that are going on right here, they are not necessary. This is Anthony playing, trying to get a whiter lotion. And as I said, I dig it because the experimentation is half the fun for me. While this may not be a requirement for lotion recipes, I wanted to share it anyway because it brought me great joy. And really, sometimes that's all that matters in a day. And just, again, should this be the first time that you ever approach a lotion recipe, this is the first video you've ever seen, really what you're looking at is 2 or 3 mixes that are 1 to 2 minutes with your stick blender to ensure that you have a nice emulsion and that everything is going to stay in solution so the oils and the waters don't separate, because you know how they like to do that. And the emulsifying wax is essentially doing its job. See, now this is another example. He's going to put some more blue pea powder in and continue to, just experiment. So all of these extra mixes, everything gets just so very thick. But also it's kind of cool because I've never seen a lotion this thick. I usually pour my lotions when they are reasonably thin, because getting them into a container when they are this thick is not an easy, task at all. But also, you just kind of know me generally, right? I don't like thick soap batter either. It's tedious. And so this is part of his tedium, really. He's having to put this very thick lotion, which already looks delightful. Again, sorry about it with the lighting. Not that you need a reason to go follow him and all of his socials and support him. I am giving you 2 right now. One is I messed up his footage, and it's just weirdly colored in some places. And two, we have to like share his pain right now of getting all of that very, very thick lotion into this little container. And so go follow him in support of this big journey and this journey that he went on and shared it with us. And now we are part of the journey and we are experiencing the pain right along. Look how little of an amount he got in there. It's so, I've been there with soap. I have never been there with lotion, but I don't know. I might just leave all of the lotion in the Pyrex at this stage and not even try to package it because I don't do thick. But I did speed this up because it did get a little bit painful for me at some point because it just hurt. It hurt my heart to see this for him, but he did not quit. He completed his mission and he wasn't at all frustrated, you know, in the audio of all of this. And so that means that he is a wildly better person than I am. But also it means that we get to go check out the test of this lotion. So let's go check that out and see what we think of his awesome Project Soapway winning lotion. Okay, and on to the test, and his hands are not that red. I feel so bad about this. I ruined all of his really... He did such a good job, and I'm really sorry about it. But in order to see the lotion, we had to do this to it, and it looks great. You know, that is a delightful lotion that absorbs very quickly into his hands. And we don't see any sort of white film left behind. Healthy looking, but not overly shiny, which would suggest, you know, too oily, really. And I dig it. That looks amazing. Anthony, thank you so much for joining Project Soapway. You are a recent Discord member as well, though you've been a Sudser for a while. And thanks for joining that too. Thanks for submitting for these challenges and showing us your beautiful setup and sharing all of your expertise and your just yourself with us. Thank you. I really do appreciate you. And also thanks for not being mad that I can't figure out how to adjust lighting. And there it is, Anthony of eXtraSoaps and his very first ever lotion project. And it's delightful. I love that recipe for sure. It is a very fun take on a lotion. And ultimately, I thought this was the best way to round out the lotion, you know, week anyway, because so much of the cosmetic formulations, you know, within this world are scientific, much more so than the soap ever will be. And so I found it very cool that an actual biochemist, you know, threw his hat in the ring. But I thought it was very delightful to have, you know, a science brain winning this and rounding out, you know, the Project Soapway winners for this. And it also made me very, very happy that this one was a success and we were interested in making the lotions. I like formulating cosmetics. And so if we can shoehorn some of those Project Soapway challenges in, I'm all for it. And it sounds like everybody really enjoyed it. So we'll definitely be doing more of that with cosmetics for sure. Obviously, go follow eXtraSoaps on all of their socials. They have a lot. There's an Instagram, there's YouTube, there's a Twitch. It's all of the things. Definitely go check it out and show him all of the love and support that you can possibly muster because he super deserves it. And while I don't deserve all of the Sudser love that I get every single day, I super appreciate it. So thank you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for supporting your fellow Sudsers. Thank you for supporting me. Thank you for lifting each other up and being awesome human beings. I am always, always grateful for the Sudsers. You guys are absolutely amazing. But as it stands, my computer is telling me that OBS is mad at me. So I am going to go and we will be back, I think, tomorrow for week 19. I'm pretty sure that's happening tomorrow. So we'll see. We'll see if that actually works out. But, you know, definitely back tomorrow or in a few days or another round of soapy fun. Bye.